this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and we're going to try to do a little card today. This is one that I've been wanting to do for a week or so now, but I just hadn't had the energy and hadn't felt like it. But we're going to do this. I'm starting off with a card base, and this is just my card base. It's not the full, thing. I just told you I like to use the faces, and then I'll put it on something else later when I get ready to mail it. But this is 6 by 6, and then we have a little piece of white, and this is just a piece of scrap, and it is 3.5 by 5 7/8. It's just a little bit shy of the 6 by 6. And I'll show you why we're going to do that. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to pretend this is my bottom. Of course, it doesn't matter. Either one is, either one will work because they're the same. I'm putting a little piece of score tape on there. And then I'm going to pull that up. Now I have some strips of white paper here that I have cut. These are cut at 1/2 inch. So I just cut some of my scraps. They don't have to be really long. These are just some scraps that I had. But just cut them at 1/2 inch. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start about, I'm starting, looks like about 1/2 inch from the end with one. And then I'm going to do the other one the same, about 1/2 inch from the end. Press those down. Just make sure you get them straight. All right, and then you come back in the center and just fill the center in with the other ones, and just kind of leave about 1/2 inch space between. Let me look at it here in a minute, and I'll tell you exactly how much space I'm leaving between them. Put these down and then I will tell you. And sometimes I have to move them. It just depends. And I think I'm going to have to move this one because... Alright, let's move these over just a tiny bit. Alright, we move that one over, and let's move this one over just a little bit. All right, now let's do a little bit of measuring. I don't measure on this. You could certainly measure and get everything perfect, but I don't measure. Looks like we started from the end at 3/8 of an inch on both ends. And then we have approximately 5/8 of an inch between all of them. A little bit more on some, a little bit less. It doesn't have to be perfect. Keep that in mind. This is a handmade card. Now what you're going to do is flip that over. Doesn't this look like, this looks like a weird card, doesn't it? And we're just going to fold those up right at that base there. Right at the bottom. Just fold them up. And I go ahead and let that stick to my desk, where that score tape is on the back. I go ahead and let it stick there. So there we go, we've got that. And now you need some strips that are, these are, let's see, these are 3/4 of an inch. And what you're going to do, and you'll see that we're going to be doing this, we're making an Easter basket. So your first one, you're going to start kind of like that. So all I did is went over, under, over, under, over. So you know how to do that. And then you take your next one. Let me make sure that one's going to be long enough. And you go under and over and under and over and under. And see, with this taped down to my desk, it's not moving. So I can play around with it. And then you're just going to keep doing this all the way up. You guys know how to do this. I know. And don't worry about trying to get it perfect right now. We can always straighten it out in a little bit when we get all of these on there, all these runs on there. Okay, and then this one. Going to be our top one right there. Alright, now that we've got those in there, see, that took no time at all with that tape down. What I'm going to do is just kind of even it out, so I make sure that I've got room on both ends. Now I'm going to pull this up, and I want this to look like that the Easter basket wraps around on my card. So I'm going to flip this over real easy. Just make sure that all my pieces are together. Then I'm going to run a little piece of tape down this side and this side. And then I'm just going to make sure that's a little bit straight there and fold those up. Just kind of make sure they're together and then fold them up. At the top, if yours goes a little bit over, don't worry about it, just fold it up. And then we're going to do the same thing over here on this side. And I am going to cut that off right there because that's way too long. Okay. So then we're just folding them up. I'm going to glimpse back at the front and make sure that I'm still going good there. Okay, look at there. There is the little Easter basket, and it looks like it's wrapped. Looks like it curves around instead of it just being laying down on the top of the paper. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take just a little bit of glue, and I'm going to glue these pieces down to that top little run there. I'm just going to glue them in place. I'm not going to wrap them around, and you'll see why in just a little bit. So let's just flip it back over this way so we can make sure we get those straight up and down. Just squirt a little bit of glue behind there, press it down. Okay, now that those are glued down, then we're just going to trim these off. Trim them right at the top of that. Just as close as you can get them. Just like that. So see, I still have plenty to do another one, another card, and I am going to do plenty of these cards, I think. I love these. Okay, so that is that. We've got that part. So now you have a piece of just pale blue cardstock. And this is cut at 3 1/4 by 5 7/8, and we're going to put that right at the top. Just going to glue that down. Just like that. See, it just leaves a tiny bit around it. Then I cut some grass with my Cricut, but if you don't have a Cricut to do this with, you can just take your scissors and some cardstock and just cut it with your scissors. But I cut it with the Cricut just to save me a little bit of time. And I've got 2 different colors here, and I'm just going to glue these together. Just going to kind of offset them a little bit. There we go. And another one here. Just like that. Now that grass is going to glue down inside that little basket, just like that. So we're just going to flip it over, and I'm going to cut off the ends just a little bit. So we're going to run a little glue right here, all the way down, and then I'm just going to lay my grass in there. Flip it back over just to make sure that I get it about the height that I want it. That looks about right. And then I just need another little piece. I should have stretched this on my Cricut and I didn't. So I just made 2 cuts, not a biggie. I can put it together to make it look almost exactly like a long piece. There we go. And it's, you know, grass is uneven, so don't try to make it so perfect. Or at least our grass is. Alright, I'm going to glue a little bit more under here. Just want to make sure that that stays in place. Okay, so we have our grass on there. Now we can glue our little basket down. And I'm going to put our basket on some pop dots. Want it to be raised up a little bit. Okay, and then you just want to lay that down, leaving just a little bit of space at the bottom, a little bit on each side, just a tiny, tiny bit. It's probably less than 1/8 of an inch. So there we go. So you've just got a tiny little bit there. And then I cut some Easter eggs, and I just took some of my scrap paper and cut these out. These are approximately 1 3/4 inches. So I just cut some different little eggs out here with my scraps. So we're just going to lay those in there in different ways. So we're going to put some foam dots behind some of them and pop them up just a little bit. Like some of them look like they're closer in the basket and some look like that they're a little bit further back. 2 foam dots and some just 1. Then I have some of this yellow ribbon, and I am going to cut a piece of it. And I should have put this down before I attach this, but I think I can tuck it in right there and press that down, and then run it across here like this, and then I'm going to tie a bow. Going to shoot a little glue right down in there. And I'll take the end of our bow and just stick it in there, in that glue, and press it just a second, and that should hold it. So put your bow on before you do this. Now we're going to take another little piece of that ribbon and we're going to tie a bow, hopefully. You guys know me and bows, I'm telling you. I'm bow challenged. Well, that's not a complete disaster. That looks pretty good. So we'll clip these ends. And then I'm going to use a pop dot to put that down on there. And that'll just kind of hold my bow in place. Isn't that cute? And then all that's left to do is just stamp our sentiment. And we're going to use the sentiment off of this stamp set that we showed yesterday. This is the Happy Easter from Photo Play. And we're going to use this Happy and Easter right there. And I'm going to use some VersaFine ink. And just stamp that right there. Hold it down just a second. There we go. Very, very pretty. And then we're just going to cut this out. I've got this little pale yellow piece of cardstock, and I just put that down on there, and then I'm going to trim it. Just like that. And then I'm just going to tuck that up under like that and glue it down. And I think I might use more pop dots on the back of this, just to kind of make it stand up on the end. So we'll tuck it right up under there and then press that down. And that is it. That is your card. Isn't that cute? Then I can just put it on my card base and it's ready to go. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And when that little bell pops up, click that bell so that you'll be notified when we put up new videos. And don't forget about the giveaway. And I know some people said, oh my gosh, you know, you're a long way from 100,000. I am, but with you guys helping me, we can get there in no time. And then I will be giving away a Cricut maker. So make sure that you tell your friends to subscribe, share all of these videos so that people will see them and hopefully subscribe. And then when we get there, one of you guys is going to win that Cricut maker. All right, we will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day.